The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Okay, so I think we're live now.
Oh. Hey, I think we're live on the air right now.
Yeah, sorry about that, everybody, but we were having some technical difficulties, and I think we're on now.
I hope we are. If you can hear us, please text, send something to Shannon saying yes.
Yeah, somebody message me and let me know if we're on the air or not.
Henry, save
Raise
us.
your hand.
Raise your hand, yeah. Well, we're going to act like we are on the air, so thank you guys for tuning into Armed Radio. Okay, we're live. I got the okay.
Yay!
Thank you guys for tuning into Armed Radio. My name is Shannon.
And I am Bill.
And we are your hosts for Talk Live Paranormal.
Awesome.
And tonight we also have Beth Moore back with us again tonight.
Woot woot.
What's up, Beth?
And hi, Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hi, Shannon. Nice to be awake.
I was about to say, you awake now? It's your phone.
Did you ring my phone?
I did. Joe gave me your number and he said call you. So I did.
Had the alarm ready to go off on the hour there. Evidently, either I slept through it or it didn't go off.
So that explains our technical difficulties, so we're good.
Yeah.
All right, so we're good. Henry gave us the okay, too, so they hear us in the warehouse, too.
What's up, Henry?
So real quick, Bill, let's do the shout out to the troops?
You bet. Hey, everybody, we want to thank everybody out there serving, who has served and is serving. If you guys are out there and listening to us, thank you very much for everything you do every single day to keep us in the ability to do what we do every day, and you guys stay safe and come home. Please come home to your families. Thank you guys very much.
Yes, thank you, and God bless.
Thank you.
So tonight, before we get into a couple, we're going to go over some events. There's quite a few of them coming up, like paranormal events that are coming up. And before we get into all of that, Beth and I are going to talk a little bit about our adventure working at Ohio State Reformatory this past weekend.
I can't wait. I want to hear this.
Well, Beth had more of an exciting night than I did. So, Beth, I'll go ahead and let you tell them about what happened to you guys down in the basement, and then I'll talk a little bit about upstairs.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you again for having me on. I love you guys.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
To start off, I think it was my first group that I had down there. I was using a device, which is it's just a phone download, but it's called the Spiritus. And the Spiritus is created to not make sense. So everything that comes through it is supposed to be complete gibberish. So when you get something that comes through that you can understand actually talking English, then that's when you need to start paying attention, because there's nothing in the database or the files that have anything that makes sense, if that makes sense. So I don't know but maybe 20 people down there with me at that time, and there was a group of girls by the front door, and I was letting them know, hey, pay attention to this doorway. There's a crawler here. It's going to come down, and it came down the steps. It's going to enter this room. You'll see it close to the floor. And they let out a big scream maybe 5 minutes later, saying they seen it come in the room. So I walked over to the Spiritus, and I let the ladies ask a question. They said, what do you want? And it came through and it said, the ladies are wet and ready.
Whoa. Wait. Time out.
Oh, yeah. And there was like, what? And then it followed up with, calling them a horse, calling them bitches, sluts. I mean, it was nonstop. And I was like, okay, I'm going to walk away from you guys for a minute, which they're dying laughing. They thought it was hilarious. again, we're in a prison, so what do you expect? Women in a prison. And so they was letting me know how they were feeling like their asses were getting grabbed. One of the ladies felt a hand slide up their leg. So that was just first group. Second group didn't get too much of anything, off and on, this and that, and some communication. Third group was all right. Fourth group, on the other hand, was phenomenal. We were seeing things walking around, and where we was, it's called the sub-basement under solitary confinement.
Okay.
And there's actually where they used to lower the men down by ropes through a trap door in the floor, and they would actually lower them into a hole into the ground. So they're actually further in the ground than the sub-basement is, somewhere where they couldn't crawl out of it.
So it's like almost like a solitary area?
Kind of, yeah.
It's pretty solitary.
It is very solitary, and it'd be one man at a time. So they couldn't put more than one person in the hole at one time. And sounds like there's a joke in that somewhere. But we're standing down there, and I have a REM pod in the corner, which was actually one of the guests' REM pods. They had that in a far corner, and then across the room, I had Dr. Badass, which is my paranormal puppy that has a REM pod built into him. So if you touch his head, his nose lights up, and if you touch his back, then his collar lights up different colors. And
he's a bulldog, so it's cute.
Yes, and he is a bulldog. My husband's a Marine, so Semper Fi. So then from the ceiling, there is this heating duct that runs along. But there's brackets coming down from the ceiling, so the heating duct's not up against the concrete, obviously. Well, it's cut off at one end, so it's not even going up into the building. Shannon witnessed this. And the other end goes outside. So there's no way anybody could have made a noise on this from anywhere else in the building. And all of a sudden, it sounded like something started punching it. Bang, 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 bang. And I jump back because, of course, I'm standing under it. I jump back like, what the fuck? I turn on my flashlight, and I'm looking around and thinking, if it's one of you motherfuckers, I'm going to kick your asses. And I'm looking, and everybody's away from it, eyes wide, mouth gapped. And I was like, okay, where does this thing run? Because I had people like in back rooms. Nobody back there was, it didn't run back to where everybody else was. So this lady says, well, if that was you, do that again. And sure enough, bam, 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 it starts banging. Then all of a sudden, the REM pod in the corner starts going off. The dog starts going off. At the same time, everything's banging on this heating duct. So it's be-doo, 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 bam, bam, be-doo, be-doo. It's like going nuts. I'm like, what the shit? So I get on the radio, and I'm like, is anybody near like a heating duct or a metal duct anywhere that they're hitting it? And everybody comes back like, no. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, I had people in the attic where there was air ducts.
Right.
I have to tell you guys, I was listening to your story, Beth. I'm sitting there so intense on listening, and Kelly just walked up behind me and poked me, and I about pooped myself.
Make a butthole pucker. High five, Kelly.
They're giving you high fives.
That's great. But yeah, and then everything just stopped. All at one time. The banging stopped, the REM pod stopped, the dog stopped. Everything went silent. I'm like, what the hell? Sorry, I'm sitting outside, so you probably guys heard that motorcycle go by.
Nope. That's all right.
But we had a guy there that looked like Freddie Prinze Jr., didn't we, Shannon?
Yeah, we did.
Just looked just freaking like him.
From She's All That.
Yeah. So
let me tell you, when's the last time I watched that? Probably not.
It was still funny. The guy looked like his twin.
It did. He did. It did. He did.
It did.
So he was like behind me, like right up behind me, and he said, could that have been an animal in there? And I said, I mean, yeah, it could have been an animal in there. I mean, in my mind, I'm going, I don't see an animal like jumping up and down, like
on demand.
Making the banging noises. So we listened, and I had a guy down there that was probably 7 foot tall, black man, tall, super tall, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
So I was like, hey, can you look inside of here? See if you see rodent. He was like, what? I'm like, I just need you to look in here and see if you see any animals or drop-ins or anything. He's like, I guess. So he did. He's like, no, I don't see anything. I'm like, okay, cool. And we was about ready to leave the basement because Shannon called time. And this guy that was standing by the door said, I didn't say anything because everything was going crazy at once. He says, but right before that happened, I had my REM pod out by the door frame. And my REM pod lit up from green to red 3 times. So it was like beep, bleep, bleep, like 3 things entered the room, which would explain, well, the REM pod, devices, the dog, and the heating duct all at once. So it was almost like they came in like, watch this, motherfuckers. You know, wow. Bam, 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 and they went nuts. It was crazy. It was really cool. I had a lot of fun down there this time. Last time I was down there, I got scratched all the way from the upper part of the backside of my ear down the back of my neck, and that wasn't so fun.
They could have came and visited us up in the chapel.
No, they
Did
all
you
wanted
get
to
much
be
in the
down there.
chapel?
We didn't get a whole lot of activity in the chapel. I mean, mostly just Phasma box stuff, and I mean, a lot of it was actually making the guests laugh. I'm trying to remember one of the questions that somebody had asked. I told them we were getting ready to go downstairs or something like that, and a male voice came through and said, F off.
Nice.
Just like stupid stuff like that, but I mean, the guests were getting a kick out of it. I think I sent, it was the tall girl that was with that group.
Yes.
I sent her up to the tuberculosis area by herself, and she had a lot of activity with one of the periscopes.
Oh, nice.
That was just weird. I heard it sounded like somebody just ran through my house.
I was going to say, you totally just got distracted.
Yeah.
I did.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
Tiny things.
Yeah, but there shouldn't be anybody running through your house.
I still hear it. Alright.
Is it neighbors? Could it be neighbors?
I don't know. It sounds like a bathroom cabinet door, but it sounds like it's directly above me, which is Taylor's room.
Is she awake?
Taylor's in Chicago.
Yeah, she's in Chicago. Could it be that spirit I sent to your house?
There's a lot of love in this room right now.
Playing right now. Quit fucking playing.
No, you know I wouldn't do that. I would not do that to you.
I'll just shoot him.
A spirit.
Yeah, good luck. Can you
All
videotape
right.
this so we can all see the outcome?
Yes.
Sure. I really don't know what that was, but it sounded like it was directly above me.
Excuse me, ma'am. Why do you have 9 bullet holes in your wall? Trust me, he was there, officer.
Yeah.
Slimer was in my house.
I tried to shoot a spirit.
I'm speechless right now. Anyways.
Back here.
I'm about to break out some equipment. Of course, it's upstairs, so.
You ain't going to get
it? Allie's up there. I ain't gonna leave her up there with weird shit going on.
Do that.
Alright, yeah, so, the one girl had some activity in the tuberculosis area, with the periscope. I think there was a group of 2 that had some activity in the attic, with the periscope. The periscopes were actually working pretty good upstairs, but not a whole lot coming through the Phasma. Just some smart-ass stuff coming through. The guests really get a kick out of when we do name somebody you came with.
Yes, they do.
And I'm probably ruining it for anybody that decides to come to one of our events. I'll just have
if
to
anybody
change
decides to come, just don't listen to what Shannon's about to say.
Yeah, don't listen to me. But we like to you can always tell in the groups of people who doesn't want to be placed by themselves, because we always ask who's here for the first time, who's never investigated before, never done anything like this. And you see the majority of the hands go up. And so you try and remember those when you have them in your group.
And we're going to use them.
Yeah, hashtag bait. Because that's what Beth and I were called when we went to Crown Point, was hashtag bait. But yeah, we'll say, when we get into the smaller groups, we'll go, name somebody you came with. And of course, it's real quiet at first. And then you got to be like, not everybody at one time.
Yeah, don't speak at once.
And then I'll ask it again. And then, next thing you know, everybody's blurting out each other's names. And I'll be like, who said so-and-so's name? And I said, where are they at? And I'll take that one person. I'll be like, all right, you come with me. And of course, here lately, like the last couple times that I've worked, nobody will go by themselves. You know, they want to have an experience, but they don't want to go by themselves.
Right, they want their buddy with them.
Yeah, so I let someone go with her up in the tuberculosis area the first go around, and then I'll come back down and I'll ask the same thing. Well, then everybody's quiet again because they know what I'm doing. So I'll ask it again, and I'll get some responses out of it, and I'll be like, "Well, who said such and such name?" And they'd be like, "I did." I'm like, "You all right? You come with me," and then everybody starts laughing. It's all about
the
fun. Whole entertaining part of it that everybody gets a kick out of.
Yes.
But I don't know. Did you hear from Ann or Liz? I mean, did they get anything in the West Block or East Block? I mean, I didn't hear anything from them.
I didn't hear anything from them either.
Party poopers. And for you guys that don't know, Beth volunteered to take it this go around, but I like the exercise. But when I go work at Ohio State Reformatory, I walk up and down 6 flights of stairs 4 times.
Yes, she does. I told her I'd do it, but I ended up taking solitary confinement instead.
I like cracking the jokes. Like, I hope nobody went to the gym today because you're about to get your exercise.
That's right. Can we talk about...
Yes,
when you took me down to solitary for the first time?
No. Can we talk about that guy and his son?
Oh, please do. Please do. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Okay.
I don't. Let me hear this story, Beth. Please go ahead.
God.
So, okay, there was a guy there. I think he was shorter than me, and I only stand 5'4". And his son was with him, which obviously had to have been 18 years old or older, because they at Ohio State Reformatory, Ghost Hunts USA, nor the building allows anybody that's younger than 18 years old. Yep. So this kid had to have been an adult, but I'm going to call him a kid anyhow. And when they came in, they signed in. I was kind of like, oh, okay, they're different. They're a little different. Then we, had the pizza and stuff, and you could just tell they were itching to go. They were one of those type that you could not get them to stand still. Like, you couldn't get them to stay with the group. So I think I had them second.
You had them second go around, yeah, because I had them third. I went ahead and got that group out of the way.
That's right, yeah. So I had them as second group. And the questions that this kid asked and the dad asked, it was like, what? So the kid says, this was in Liz's group, so this was not in my group, but the kid asked, now remember, this is a prison. This is a max security prison at one point in time. There's no females housed there. And he asks, do you think I'm sexy? Do you think I'm good looking? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Do you think I'm good looking? Do you think I'm sexy? And he was one that wouldn't give time for a response. He would just ask question. Back
one after another. Yeah.
I don't think, like, at first I thought he might be, like, a little autistic, because when he talks to you, he won't look at you.
Yeah.
And I think he's a severe ADHD.
Yes.
He could not sit still.
Yes.
And just talked a lot.
I agree. So he's on my rotation, and he's like, he was up on the upper tier. And I'm going around the main part of solitary, and I said, I'm going to go to each cell that you guys are in and allow you to ask one question. Just stay where you are. And everybody was spread out pretty good. So I'd stopped at one cell, and all of a sudden I hear running down steps, and this kid and his dad's right behind me. We want to ask a question. And I'm like, well, I'll get to you. Find a cell down here, get in it, and I'll get to you. And I let the first couple ask a question, and I go, and this kid's next. And he's like, do you hate me? Do you hate me? And I said, well, why would they hate you? I'll fight you. I'll fight you if you hate me. I'll fight you. And I was like, no. I said, these were like the worst of the worst people here. You don't want to wish that upon yourself. You don't want to anger them. You need to ask questions, nicer questions. Like silly questions. What was your favorite color? I said, their time is done. What they did is done. They've been judged. They're now on the other side. No. I'll fight you. Come on, come at me. I'll fight you. And I'm like, okay, moving on. And so I go over to his dad, and this kid runs out of the cell, like leapfrogs me, and goes to the other cell next to his dad. And his dad was like, I don't have a question. I'm like, okay. But then it's his son again. And I said, now you can't just keep leapfrogging me to get questions in. I got to let everybody else ask one too. And he's like, do you like the Indians? Do you like the Cleveland Indians? Do you like the Browns? Do you like football?
What?
Do you like baseball? I bet you like baseball. Do you like baseball? And I was like, okay, those are kind of good questions, right? You know, do you like sports? Yeah. But he wouldn't give them a chance to respond. And then it went right back to, do you hate me? Do you hate me? And I was like, oh my God, kid. You know, so I was like, okay, moving on. And there he goes, runs out of the cell, runs past me, goes around the other side, and he's like in the very first cell. And I'm like, oh my God. And so I looked at his dad and I was like, do you have a question? Please have a question. Please ask something. And he starts asking the same damn things. Do you like baseball? Do you like me? Do you want to fight me? And I was like, oh my God. I said, not everybody in here wants to fight you. They don't want to fight you. I don't know why you want to fight something you can't see. They're going to win. You know, the sneak attack is on their side. You can't see them.
You can't see them coming.
No, not at all. So I told Shannon, and they wouldn't stay with the group. Oh, these ladies were asked to go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah. I was going to have you talk about that, too.
Yes. These ladies said, you know, I know this rotation's ending in 5 minutes, but, you know, we're older ladies and we can't hold it. I said, go ahead, go. I said, you know, you'll go out here, you'll go straight across, come right back. And the kid and the dad goes, can we go to the bathroom? I said, no. I said, I don't want to send too many people out at one time. When the ladies come back, then you can go. Well, we have to go. I said, no. When the ladies come back, then you can go. Some lady behind me asks a question, so I turn around to answer her. And I turn back around and they were gone. I was like, son of a bitch. And then here they come, like running back after about 2 minutes. And I said, why did you do that? What? I told you no twice. Why did you go anyways? We had to go. I was like, oh my God. So I warned Shannon. I said, you can't keep them still. You can't keep them quiet. They want to talk over people. Oh, when we was in the basement, I was halfway across the room and I said, do you have a question to this lady? And he from the far corner goes, over here. Hey.
Really?
I have a question. I was like, I am not a motherfucking dog. Do not whistle and snap your fingers at me. So I said, when I get over there to you, I will get to you and you can ask a question. Oh, they were a pain in the asshole. They were a pain in the ass.
Oh my God.
Well, she forewarned me. So
and?
I had 2 groups left. I had their group and another group. I said, I'm going to go ahead and take their group and knock that out of the way.
Yeah.
So I take them all the way upstairs, okay?
Okay.
And I did the whole name somebody you came with.
Oh my God.
Nobody said anything.
Of course.
I did it again. The father named him, the one she's talking about. So I took him, grabbed the periscope, and I said, all right, I'm going to put you all the way up here. I said, you're just going to go up. We're at the bottom of steps. I said, you're just going to go all the way up till you can't go anymore, and you'll be directly above us. He goes up, and it's probably what? 2 flights of stairs?
2 or 3, yeah.
Okay, so on top of the 6 to get up there, it's 3 more flights of stairs to get up in the tuberculosis area.
Okay.
But he had plenty of energy. It's all good.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I get to the bottom of the stairs. I said, just set this down on the ground, walk away, 5-6 feet, start asking questions, trying to get it to light up. I said, but you're going to take the steps and you're going to go all the way up. And you're going to open up into a big open room and just kind of hang out in there. He made it up the first set of steps, okay? And at the top of the first set of steps, see where the walls kind of broke up a little bit, so you can see his flashlight through the wall, kind of through the cracks in the wall. And he's talking to himself, like he didn't go all the way up. I can't even understand what he's saying. And then I'm like, well, he didn't even make it up the first extra flight of stairs. So I asked his dad. I said, do you want to go ahead and go up there with him? And he said, where's he at? And I I couldn't help myself. I busted out laughing because you couldn't help but see the flashlight coming out of the wall and him talking. Like, I didn't get it. So I took him over to the steps.
Where did he go, George? Where did he go?
Yeah. I took him over to the steps and I said, he's right there at the top of the stairs, but I want you guys to go all the way up so you can't go no more. And the next day, it was a group of 4. They had two friends with them.
Yeah.
So I let the dad and the son go up, and then a couple minutes later, I let the other 2 go up where they were, and I had them stay up there
The whole time?
the whole rotation. They were up there in the TV area, never came down, and I told Beth, she's like, you lucky bitch.
I was like, you little bitch.
I said, they stayed up there the whole time. They didn't come back down.
I had to chase them all over the damn place.
But
I didn't have a
before-
room to stick them in.
Before we start, well, I could have put them in the attic too. I mean, I had 2 other areas to put them in, but before we got started, we're sitting right there in the front of West Block and getting ready to go up the stairs, and the kid is like freaking out over a moth.
God, yes, I forgot about that.
There was a moth on the ground, just kind of, hopping around, flying around his legs, and he's freaking out. And he's like, someone's like, it's just a moth, and he says, a moth? Well, nobody said anything about moth on this tour.
Nobody warned me. That's what he said. Nobody warned me about moths.
he said, I didn't know there were moths. And then you got a lady behind him. Huh?
You took him in. They were in a building that's no longer open.
Mm-hmm.
That's
right.
That isn't cleaned every day. That is haunted, and he's worried about a damn moth.
Mm-hmm.
He said, nobody told me about moths, and then there's a lady behind him, or someone said, yeah, they got moths, and then the lady behind him, which was a guest, was like, yeah, and they got rats, and cats, and bats. And he walked up, he had a black armband on. He was in the black armband group, and he walked up to me.
I forgot about this.
He walked up to me and he goes, are you black?
Well, not that I checked last time.
Yeah, but there was 3 or 4 ladies right behind him that turned around and looked at me. And I mean, without a hitch, man, I was like, no, I'm white, but I am taking the black armband. And these ladies were like high-fiving me, like I couldn't help it. I could not help it. Are you black?
Are you black?
No, I'm white, but I'm taking black group, if that's what you mean. But I mean, I hope they had a good time,
Yes.
Well, it sounds like it was if anything, was just that group, it was somewhat entertaining at points.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd go entertaining more than, I mean, I just felt bad for the rest of the group. Because they just talked over top of them and they wouldn't stand still. So it's like we couldn't stand there and listen for anything because there was constant feet shuffling, moving, walking, turning, moving. It was like, oh my God. I mean, again, I'm glad that they came. I hope they had a great time. They supplied us with entertainment. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We just hope we supplied them with some entertainment as well. We need to make like a do not do list for our guests to sign with the waivers.
I know. I don't think they didn't stay much longer during free roam. I don't remember seeing them.
Well, they probably didn't stay in one place for too long.
That's why you never saw them. They were here, they were there,
they were everywhere. Remember when we went up to the guy's cell that set himself on fire?
Yeah.
I seen them coming. They was walking down the catwalk towards us, and that was pretty late in the night.
Now tell them about when you guys were outside the cell. What the heck? That kid's name was Jeremiah, I think.
Yeah. Freddie.
Him and I were in the cell with the dog and a flashlight and the periscope, and you and Liz and Ann. You guys were outside the cell along the railing. And you guys
with a couple other guests.
Tell them about the people looking up at you.
Oh, God. That was so freaking creepy. That was creepy. We were, 4 tiers up? 3 tiers. 3 tiers up, which is pretty good. It's a pretty good little height, okay? And Liz and I heard something, and we looked down, and Liz turns her flashlight on. And I mean, this flashlight is in the 4 of their faces, and they're staring straight up at us. So they're like standing straight up and down with their necks completely bent back, staring at us. With the flashlight in their eyes, they didn't move. Like, they didn't cover their eyes or flinch or drop their heads. They just stood there staring. And I'm like...
Were they frozen?
I don't fucking know. I said, Liz, please turn the flashlight off. This is creeping me out. And I was like, why were they just sitting there? So I thought, well, they were just sitting there listening, right? So Liz went to check about 2 minutes later to see if they were still there. Turns the flashlight back on. There was no bench. There was nowhere for them to be sitting. So they were standing in a perfect line, staring straight up at us.
Maybe they were looking for UFOs.
I don't freaking know.
Well, these were it was the black
tall
guy she
people.
had in the basement. Did he have to duck?
Yes.
And the other guy with him, because they were both like 6'5".
Easily. Yes. I felt so sorry for them being down that sub basement. I said, oh my God, you're going to have to stand with your neck crinked the whole time you're down here.
I mean, I'm 5'11" and had to duck in some places just to get where we stood.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I felt horrible for them. But no, it was like the movie Strangers. You know how, like, in the movie Strangers, they just would stand and stare at you with those masks on? But it reminded me of, and I was like, please turn your flashlight off, Liz.
Maybe they'll go away.
They're freaking wigging me out, dude.
Well, Shannon, I'm going to let you know, if you ever go to the Beatty house and do that one, if you go down to the basement, duck. There's 3 pipes that are really low in a row, and I found them all in the dark with my forehead.
Well, that's what they make flashlights
Ding,
for,
ting,
Bill.
ting.
I had my flashlight pointing backwards so the guests had come in. I was like, follow me. Bing, bing, bing. I'm like, oh, son of a bitch.
Well, you're going to have to start bringing 2 flashlights.
Yes.
Well, I thought I was bent low enough to get away from them. I knew they were there. That's the problem.
You know what I
have no
do in
issue.
areas like that? I will get to the opening and make sure they all have a flashlight and send them down first.
So you hear the bing, bada bing, 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 bada bing, bing, bing. Well, they're all through.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll be telling me to watch out for the pipes.
I don't have an issue with that.
No.
I won't say anything.
Yeah.
She just hasn't hit her growth spurt yet.
I'm still waiting for my puberty to hit.
Puberty is a wonderful thing when it happens.
Yes. The worst thing is I used to be 5'5", so I've already shrank 1 inch.
Dang.
I think it's my boobs weighing me down.
That's a good possibility. I don't have that problem.
No, that's okay.
Yeah. But that was the highlight of our weekend at Ohio State Reformatory. What about you, Bill? Did you work over the weekend?
Yeah, we were at the Beatty house in St. Joseph, Missouri, which is, if you ever get a chance to go, there's a beautiful old mansion.
Mm-hmm.
It's 18,000 square feet, so there's a lot of room to go inside this building and look
Nice.
around. It's huge. We started off with taking the whole entire group and doing somewhat of like a seance in the big greeting room that they used to have there, and had everybody sitting down, sitting there talking and everything, and got some information that we weren't expecting to get. We were asking questions. The man that built the home and his wife never had any heirs, and when he passed away, 2 years later to the day, she passed away. But
Oh, wow.
if you go to the cemetery where they're buried, there's 3 full-size graves there. There's only 2 people, but 3 full-size graves. So we were asking questions, trying to get responses of trying to figure out that grave. And one of the guests asked a question that I never would even thought of, which I thought was great. She actually asked, were you brought in to have a child for them? And everything lit up.
Ooh.
So it was like, oh, okay, so we got a surrogate. And then she asked, are you the one buried in the 3rd grave? And everything got active again. There's nothing on any of the history that we could find anywhere written that they had someone else living in the house with them to have a child for them, which was really wild. And then we were down in the basement. We got a bunch of stuff on the Phasma box down there, but the funniest one was there was a gentleman there, and there's supposed to be one room that's really active. And he decided, he goes, can I go in that room? I'm like, sure, go ahead. I don't care. Go for it. Because we were getting a lot of responses. And I asked, do you know who that is in that room? Can you say his name? And it goes, the whore.
Oh.
We're like, can you say his real name? The whore.
Oh, wow.
So I said his name and I told him, hey, come on back out here. And the box goes, put the whore back.
Oh my God.
It's like, hey, guess what? You're a whore.
Yeah. Welcome to the club. Good grief.
We had one lady that got jumped really bad. We actually had to carry her out of the house and get her outside into the air. She couldn't breathe. She felt like her neck was on fire. She said it felt like at one point her entire spine was almost being ripped out of her body and straight to her back. So it's like, okay, let's get her out.
Predator stuff.
Oh yeah, it was, and that was all in one room. The most active we got that night was in the basement and in that one individual room. Everybody that seemed to go into that one room came out not feeling very well at all. Several of the people came out of the room and they're like, "Hey, we're on free time. Does that mean we can like get off the property for just a little bit and come back?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, it's a house. You can leave. You can go out to your vehicles and stuff if you want to." And they left and they come back and they're like, "We want to try that room one more time." And this couple that went in there, they were in there by themselves for a while, and all of a sudden she came out and it wasn't warm. I mean, it was probably only about 65 degrees. It wasn't humid. It was a beautiful night outside. It was nice and cool in the house. She came out and she's soaking wet with sweat. And he comes out and he's breathing really heavy and he just, I got to get out of here. Is it okay? We had a great time, but we got to leave. We have to leave. And that we never did find out what happened to him, but I don't know if they went up there and got something as far as paranormal, or they went upstairs and got something as far as otherwise. Like they had a good time just together, but whatever it was, and nobody else wanted to go in that room the rest of the night. It was like, no, we're going to stay the hell out of there. So
interesting.
The funny
go by yourself, Bill?
What's that?
Did you go by yourself in there?
No, I did. I didn't get anything when I was in there, in that room. Kelly was in there my wife was there for a while. She was with us. And she actually about 1:00 in the morning came out and she was ready to throw up. She wasn't feeling good. So I told her, I said, just go out to the vehicle and relax for a little while, get away from this far away from the house as you could. And it took her about 2 hours before she didn't feel like she wanted to throw up and didn't have a headache and didn't feel to that point of where I guess the only way I can say it is that paranormal jump where something's got a hold of you and it doesn't want to let go.
Right.
And that's the way she was feeling. So when we did have a group, maybe you'll remember this, Beth. When we were down, I think it was the last time we were all in Missouri together. It was March.
Yeah.
Remember when I had them turn off the lights after I did the announcement, and there was I said, we're going to see how dark. Well, we hope everybody has flashlights. We're going to show you how dark it gets in here in Building 4. And they shut off the lights. Remember that whole row lit up with all the ladies with the chem lights all over them?
Oh God, yes, yeah.
They were there.
Oh, hilarious!
They were there, and they had a blast. One of them's like, I'm not getting anything. I'm not getting anything. And all of a sudden, she comes out, and I go, "You okay?" And she goes, "Well, I kind of got something." And it's like, "What?" And she goes, "Well, I was the only one in the back part of the room, and I was standing there, and I thought somebody was standing next to me, like one of her friends." And she said, "I turned and looked and went, 'Stop rubbing my ass.'" And she looked. She goes, "It wasn't her friend standing next to her, but there was somebody there staring at her, and this arm moved away, and then it was gone." She goes, "Okay, I've got enough for tonight. I'm going outside for a while and have a cigarette."
Oh, crap.
So, yeah, we had a pretty good time down there. I'm looking forward to going back to that one. With 18,000 square feet, there's just so many places you can go down there. It's huge.
That's huge.
And it has a working bathroom, and it's all inside. So we were kind of hoping it would look like it was going to be a little bit of a lightning storm, but it kind of went around us. So I was hoping it would build up some energy for us.
Now, Beth, are you working this weekend?
No, I'm not this weekend, but I am. what is that week? I will be doing Lizzie Borden House on July, I think it's
6th,
5th,
7th,
6th. Yeah, I can't remember what it is.
Is it a Friday night?
It's Thursday, Friday, and Sunday.
Yeah, 5th, 6th, 7th.
Yeah, yes, that's it. But I'll be doing that after 4th of July, so that'll be fun. I'm excited about going to Lizzie Borden. It's a 2 psychic event, so we should have...
Who's the other one that's going to be there?
Me and Anne.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you working this weekend, Shannon?
I'm not anywhere this weekend, no, but same weekend, they've also got Ohio State Reformatory running, but I don't know who's working yet. I'm not 100% sure whether I will be there, but I know if they're taking Ann and Beth, I don't have too many more options as far as who's going to be working there. I know Ohio State Reformatory in July is the weekend of the 6th. It's a Friday night, and then Friday, July 21st is what we're also back out there. So, but I'm not sure if I'm the one working yet.
Cool.
So, where do you work next, Bill?
This Saturday, actually, at the McInerney Villa in Atchison, Kansas.
Okay. Are you guys? Well, you don't know yet about next weekend, do you?
This weekend coming up?
No, the weekend after. You don't know yet.
Is that the weekend of the 6th?
Yeah.
I will be camping. I'm taking the weekend to take my camper out and go spend some time with my stepdaughter's 40th birthday. So we're going to go out and sit around a campfire and drink and fish and relax.
I'm not working on the 6th and 7th. So where's this camping trip?
Come on down. We got a place for you to stay.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Get away and unload.
Go camping for like a week.
Well,
get away from everything.
Then the best part is at the end of July and the first 2 full weeks in August, we're gonna actually we're getting way off the grid. We're going up into the mountains in Oregon for 2 weeks. Get away.
Is this again?
You want to go again?
Hint, hint. What is this again?
You need to just come pick us up.
It's a place. Now, I said this, and I'll say this with my beautiful, lovely wife Kelly standing next to me. I have a wife from hell, and I can prove it. My
Dang.
Hold on. Now let me explain. Kelly is from a small town in Oregon called Halfway, Oregon, which is in Pine Valley, which is one of the offspurs of Hell's Canyon. So when I say I have a wife from hell, I can prove it.
Oh my god, that's freaking hilarious.
Probably sitting there laughing at you right now.
She's in bed.
Oh. Well, you just said she was sitting next to you.
Well, no, that was almost an hour ago when she scared the crap out of me.
Okay. I'm ready for bed. I'm sorry. Well, we got about, 6 minutes, I think. Jimmy, are you awake? Maybe?
I am.
We got about, 6 minutes?
Something like that, yep.
Okay.
Actually, 5 now.
5. I talk too much. Jesus.
Wait, we gotta let Beth get to plug your radio show. Your show. Go for it.
Yeah. I'll let you do that first.
Every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you guys can tune into vidi.live, and that's VIDI.live, or follow Vidi Space Inc. on Facebook. You can catch us live there. And that's
awesome.
Girls versus Ghosts.
Darla and Beth.
I think I'd give a big para sister host shout out to my girl Charla, who's on a date night with her hubby tonight. We love
you. Love you, Charla. Kiss, kiss.
Huggy. Oh, now it's getting weird.
All right, we gotta stop. Real quick before we let Bill finish up the show, I do want to bring up the event going on at Ashmore Estates in September. We're going to keep plugging this a couple times because it's helping out a good friend of ours. So, out at Ashmore Estates, the weekend of September 28th through the 30th, it's called Ash Bash. It's free daytime admission to the public, so you guys can go and meet Bill Chappell, Christopher and Rachel St. Booth, and the Tennessee Wraith Chasers. Absolutely free. They do have tickets available at night to do investigations with those guests as well. And you can go online to, I think it's ashmoreestates.com, and check out and see what's available. They do have vendor tables available still, so if you guys are interested in setting up a vendor table, a vendor booth, those are still available. And on the 29th of September, during that weekend, from 5:45 p.m. to 7:45 p.m., they have what is called a gallery reading with Rebecca Foster. Tickets are $37.50 a piece, and half of the sales are being donated to the Lost Limbs Foundation,
Excellent program.
Yes, which is ran by Mike Couch, who Beth and I are good friends with.
Mm-hmm. Great man. Great man.
And if you guys aren't familiar with Lost Limbs Foundation, you can check them out on lostlimbsfoundation.org. You can donate on the website. You can see a list of events and stuff that he goes to. I believe they actually run Atlanta, in Atlanta, Indiana. They run the Rhodes Hotel as well.
Yes.
And his charity, the Lost Limbs Foundation charity, actually helps with amputee children. It helps them be able to afford prosthetics for children. So if you guys get a chance to check out the website, you can donate to the website, and there's also an address that you can send donations to if you guys are interested in helping out, or even going to the event. Be sure to go check that out.
Yes.
Awesome. It is one hell of an event. You guys got to get out there and help out. Again, that Lost Limbs Foundation does a lot for people that just can't afford it. And let's face it, kids deserve everything we can give them in that state. They didn't ask to be in that state. Let's give them a hand and let's help them out.
Yes.
Oh, so I think we got about a minute and a half left. Beth, thank you again for being here. This was awesome. You're always welcome back here.
Thanks.
So, Shannon, it was awesome as always. I'm actually doing this way too fast because I think we got a couple minutes almost.
It's okay. You're a rock star. Slow down.
Late one night, and a long time ago, there was a man. No, just kidding.
We want to thank everybody for listening. Henry, the guys, we want to apologize for a little snafu we had in the very beginning. Didn't get on the air as quick as we wanted to, but you know what? We're here, and we love it. We love you guys. Thank you very much for being here. Shannon was awesome as always.
Thanks, boss. Awesome with you too, buddy.
Oh, thank you. We want to thank everybody out there listening. We want to thank Jimmy for being here with us and running the show for us on the backside because he doesn't get enough credit for that. But thank you, Jimmy. So, again, thank you guys very much for being here. We look forward to letting you guys listen in next week when we're here. I don't know what we have scheduled for next week, so it'll be a surprise for everybody. Mysteries at the museum. You never know what's going to happen. Thank you guys very much. Have a great night. See you in the dark.
Bye.
Bye-bye.